Hi, how are you? Hope you're well. First and foremost, it is pouring, thunderstorming outside, so I'm sorry it's so dark and if the lighting fluctuates, out of my control, but I'm here today to start a very exciting video. In this video, I will be reading book blurbs and guessing what their Goodreads rating is based off of that blurb. And so how I came up with this idea is that I did not actually, my boyfriend and I were watching Dylan is in Trouble one day, where he has a series where he guesses movie scores based off of their trailers. And my boyfriend looked at me and he's like, you should do this, but with books. And I was like, oh my God, you are a genius. I should, that would be so much fun. And then I sat and thought on it and I thought about like what punishment could I do for getting the ratings wrong. And so basically, as I said, I'll be reading book blurbs. I have a list of books right here and I'm gonna read the blurb on Storygraph and then I'm going to go check the Goodreads rating. And essentially, I'm going to give myself a 0.25 star window on each side and I'm going to be rounding up to the closest 5. So essentially, if I guess that the book's rating is 3 stars, anywhere between 3.25 to 2.75 would be correct. So that is how I'm going to be doing this. I think it's going to be a fun, exciting time. And I have 7 books right here. And every book that I get wrong, I have to add a number to how many books I have to finish this month. So let's say I get 2 out of the 7 books wrong. I must finish at least 2 books this month. And if I don't, I will humiliate myself on the internet for everybody to see. So I think it's going to be fun. I like the little twist on it. And let's just jump right into it. First book we will be looking at is Where the Dark Stands Still. I was actually given this by my mom and dad for my birthday last year because I really wanted to just walk around a bookstore and they said they'd buy me one. And this is the one that they bought me. I fell in love with it because look at the cover. But anyway, this is the first book that we will be guessing. So as we can see, this book is a young adult fantasy book. According to the description, a girl with dangerous magic makes a risky bargain with a demon to be free of her monstrous power in this young adult fantasy, perfect for fans of An Enchantment of Ravens and House of Salt and Sorrows, which this is making me want to read this book so badly. Liska knows that magic is monstrous and its practitioners are monsters. She has done everything possible to suppress her own magic to disastrous consequences. Desperate to be free of it, Liska flees her small village and delves into a dangerous demon-inhabited spirit wood to steal a mythical fern flower. If she plucks it, she can use its one wish to banish her powers. Everyone who has sought the fern flower has fallen prey to unknown horrors. So when Liska is caught by the demon warden of the wood, called the Lessie, a bargain seems to be better than death. 1 year of servitude in exchange for the fern flower and its wish. Whisked away to the Lessie's crumbling manor, Liska soon makes an unsettling discovery. She is not the first person to strike this bargain, and all of her predecessors have mysteriously vanished. If Liska wants to survive the year and return home, she must unravel her taciturn host's spool of secrets and face the ghosts, figurative and literal, of his past. Because something wakes in the woods, something deadly and without mercy. It frightens even the Lessie and cannot be defeated unless Liska embraces the monster she's always feared becoming. That sounds very interesting, and I have a suspicion that it's probably decently highly rated. However, I haven't really heard many people talk about this. Like, this isn't necessarily a book talk or booktube sensation, and so I don't think that it would be above a 4, and if it is above a 4, I don't think it would surpass a low 4, like a 4.1. And so I think I'm going to guess, I want to say it's around 3.9. So my window would be from 3.65 to 4.15, I believe, if I did that math right. It's going to be very embarrassing if I didn't, but let's go to Goodreads and find out what it is. 4.7. I'm very proud of myself for guessing that. I did not think I would get any right. I was fully prepared to get so many wrong, but 4.7, that is within my range. And I was right, it's a low 4. I'm not going to read reviews because all of these books are off of my TBR and I don't want to spoil them for myself because for some reason, there are so many people on both Goodreads and Storygraph that leave reviews and don't understand that you can mark spoilers so that people don't read them, and then they just spoil the whole goddamn thing with their 2-sentence review, and it makes me incredibly angry. So I'm not going to read the reviews, but okay. The next book that I will be testing out is Flowerheart by Catherine Bakewell. I forget which YouTuber, but a YouTuber talked about this and said that it was decently interesting. The magic system is based off of flowers, which sounds really interesting. And the reason I bought it was because I went onto Amazon and it was so cheap. As in, I've seen used books more expensive than a brand new hardcover was. And so I was just like, I'm buying it. And I'm excited to read it one day. I think I might read it closer to end spring, early summer, but who knows, maybe this will make onto my TBR. Every book here is from my TBR shelf and it's specifically from my young adult fantasy shelf, so they're all going to match that. I was thinking of doing each shelf in order. Anyway, so Flowerheart is a young adult fantasy romance with hopeful and light-hearted atmosphere. Perfect for fans of Margaret Rogerson and Tamara Pierce. Okay, so we know I love Margaret Rogerson. I don't know who Tamara Pierce is though. I haven't personally heard of her, but so far it's looking good. This standalone YA debut is a stunning cottagecore fantasy romance about a girl with a powerful and violent magic which she must learn to control or lose everything she loves. I do like that. It sounds interesting so far, and the cottagecore vibes would be wonderful for a warm climate day. Clara's magic has always been wild, but has never been dangerous. Then a simple touch causes poisonous flowers to bloom in her father's chest. I knew her dad was sick, I didn't realize she caused it. The only way to heal him is to cast an extremely difficult spell that requires perfect control. And the only person willing to help her, former best friend, Xavier, who's grown from a sweet, shy child into someone distant and mysterious. Xavier asks a terrible price in return, knowing Clara will give anything to save her father. As she struggles to reconcile the new Xavier with the boy she once loved, she discovers how many secrets he's hiding. And as she hunts for the truth, she instead finds the root of a terrible darkness that's taken hold in the queendom. A darkness only Clara's magic is powerful enough to stop. It seems decently interesting. However, I do have to say it does feel a bit more basic. Like reading this blurb, it does kind of seem like a book that has been written before, a book that I've read before, but just in different ways, maybe a different magic system or a different world or something like that. But so it does seem a bit more basic, and therefore I don't think it'd be a 4 or relatively close to 1. I don't think it would necessarily be bad. However, I don't think it's anything outstanding or overly unique either. So I think I'm going to guess maybe 3.45, giving me the range of 3.2 to 3.7. But let's find out what it is. 3.48. What the hell? I'm a lot better at this than I thought. Okay, we're changing something. If I get the next one correct very closely, we're shrinking the band because I don't know. It won't be fun if I get everything right, you know what I mean? Next, we actually have a duology, and so I will do both books separately, but the first book we have is Fable by Adrienne Young. I'm very excited to pick this up. One day, I have no clue when to, because I wanted to read it in the winter time, and then winter time just got away from me. But then also this is about pirates, so it's like, read it in the summer, why not? So yeah, but I am very excited to pick it up and try it. So let's find Fable. This is also a fantasy romance, and it's adventurous this time. That's exciting. Filled with all of the action, emotion, and lyrical writing that brought readers to Sky in the Deep, New York Times best-selling author Adrienne Young returns with Fable, the first book in this new captivating duology. Welcome to a world made dangerous by the sea and by those who wish to profit from it, where a young girl must find her place and her family while trying to survive in a world built for men. As the daughter of the most powerful trader in the Narrows, the sea is the only home 17-year-old Fable has ever known. It's been 4 years since the night she watched her mother drown during an unforgiving storm. The next day, her father abandoned her on a legendary island filled with thieves and little food. To survive, she must keep her... Oh my god. The sun just came out of nowhere. Okay, I think you can see me okay. I'm so sorry that the sun just came out and I can't see anything anymore. Oof, hold on. Closed my blinds a little bit, so it should be less bad. But yeah, sorry, this is gonna be, again, the weather is bad, so we're gonna have to just try our best. But as we were saying, to survive, she must keep to herself, learn to trust no one, and rely on the unique skills her mother taught her. The only thing that keeps her going is the goal of getting off the island, finding her father, and demanding her rightful place beside him and his crew. To do so, Fable enlists the help of a young trader named West to get her off the island and across the Narrows to her father. But her father's rivalries and dangers of his trading expertise have only multiplied since she last saw him, and Fable soon finds that West isn't who he seems. Together, they will have to survive more than the treacherous storms that haunt the Narrows if they're going to stay alive. Fable takes you on a spectacular journey filled with romance, intrigue, and adventure. That sounds very interesting, and I do also have the benefit of knowing that this is a very, very popular, well-loved book, and I also do know that, or I'm very certain that this is one of the OG Book Talk books. So, oh my goodness. I just, for the first time, realized that in her eye is a ship. I've never noticed that before. That's insane. Is there something in this one? No, it doesn't seem like it. So I do know that it's well loved. It's an OG Book Talk book. This author in general is a very well loved author, and so I just know this is going to be highly rated. I don't know how highly rated, but it has to be at least a 4-star. So I'm going to say 4.3, which means my window would be 4.05 to 4.55. But let's go find out what Fable's actual rating is. Oh no, 4.01. I was certain it'd be higher. Okay, so I got it wrong. We have 2 right, 1 wrong, so I must finish at least 1 book this month. Okay, I'm kind of happy I got it wrong though. I was on the right track, but I'm happy that I got it wrong because that's so much more fun, and then I can check back in at the end of this month and let you know if I completed the goal. I know I did say that I'm going to do Namesake as well, but as I was reading the blurb, it did occur to me that this blurb might spoil what happens in book 1, and since I have not read it yet, I'm not going to do that to myself. That would be very annoying, so I will not be reading Namesakes. So we only have 6 books, but that's fine. Since I got that one wrong, I'm going to keep my 2.5 window that I have. Or should I narrow it just for fun? You know what? For the stakes, we're narrowing the window anyway to 10. So if I pick 3 stars, my window is 2.9 to 3.1. I'm nervous. Now I'm gonna get everything wrong and I'm gonna have to finish 1, 2, 3, 4 books, which shouldn't be a challenge, but sometimes it is, you know? Anyway, the next book that we will be looking up is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones. And I've been wanting to read this one for a while. I can't wait. I think I'm gonna read this in October and I'm very, very excited. So this one is a fantasy horror young adult, which is exciting, thrilling, new for me. Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Sky in the Deep in this bewitching historical horror novel, perfect for fans of Holly Black and V.E. Schwab. Okay, that sounds very interesting, but also very out of my comfort zone. I love Holly Black. I really want to read V.E. Schwab. I think my first book by her might be Catabasis when it comes out. I don't know if I'll be picking up another book by her beforehand, but I really want to try her because I've heard so many good things. Never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I really want to at some point. And then I've never read Sky in the Deep, but again, we do know that Adrienne Young is very well loved. 17-year-old Adrienne Ryn only cares about two things: her family and her family's graveyard. And right now, both are in dire straits. Since the death of their parents, Ryn and her siblings have been scraping together a meager existence as gravediggers in the remote village of Colburn, which sits at the foot of a harsh and deadly mountain range that was once home to the Fae. The problem with being a gravedigger in Colburn, though, is that the dead don't always stay dead. The risen corpses are known as bone houses, and legend says that they're a result of a decades-old curse. When Elias, an apprentice mapmaker with a mysterious past, arrives in the town, the bone house is attacked with a new ferocity. What is it that draws them near? And more importantly, how can they be stopped for good? Together, Elias and Ryn embark on a journey that will take them into the heart of the mountains, where they will have to face both the curse and the deeply buried truths about themselves. Equal parts classic horror novel and original fairy tale, the bone houses will have you spellbound from the very first page. Okay, so this one sounds very good as well. It sounds very interesting. It definitely sounds a bit more of a niche genre, almost like a gothic fantasy type of vibe. I think it's like in that category of like gothic fantasy or dark academia, where it's a niche, but it's a well-loved niche of like a darker fantasy horror. Also, side note, I've only ever read a book about zombies once before and I really loved it, so much so that I want to reread it and finish the series. And this one's about zombies, so very excited for that. But I think it's going to be decently rated. My brain is saying 3.9 and I don't really know why, but that's like what I'm going for, because again, this was recommended by a YouTuber that I watch very regularly. I love the books that she reads. However, I don't really hear this book talked about very often, and so I do think it's probably well loved, but it's not, again, sensational. And so I do think maybe my brain's screaming either 3.7 or 3.9, so I think I'm gonna go with 3.8 so that I can meet both. Most of this video is just me waiting for the page to load at this point. 4. Oh, I should have picked 3.9. I should have went with my gut instinct. Okay, 2 wrong. So I need to read at least 2 books this month so far. I mean, 24,000 ratings, that's not that many in the grand scheme of Goodreads. So I was kind of right. I just underestimated it a little bit, but I'm very happy to see that most of these are very highly rated. It's a relief knowing that I have good books on my TBR. But next we have another book that I've been wanting to start for a while. It's a recommendation by the same YouTuber that recommended The Bone Houses, and I've been wanting to read this author for a while in general, and that is The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernshaw. I've just heard so many good things about this author. She writes standalone YA fantasies and they all seem a bit dark and a bit witchy, and who doesn't love that? Okay, so this is a young adult fantasy romance. Pretty standard. I do know it's witchy. Hocus Pocus and practical magic meets the Salem witch trials in this haunting story about 3 sisters on a quest for revenge and how love may be the only thing powerful enough to stop them. Okay, so I watched Hocus Pocus and it wasn't necessarily my favorite movie, but it was quite fun. I haven't watched Practical Magic. I actually wanted to watch it last Halloween and we never got to it, but I do still want to watch it at some point. But I do know that they're both quite popular in the witchy Halloweeny movie sphere. Welcome to the cursed town of Sparrow, where 2 centuries ago, 3 sisters were sentenced to death for witchery. Stones were tied to their ankles and they were drowned in the deep waters surrounding the town. Now, for a brief time each summer, the sisters return, stealing the bodies of 3 weak-hearted girls so that they may seek their revenge, luring boys into their harbor and pulling them under. Iconic behavior. Like many locals, 17-year-old Penny Talbot has accepted the fate of the town. But this year, on the eve of the sisters' return, a boy named Beau Karcher arrives, unaware of the danger he has just stumbled into. Mistrust and lies spread quickly through the salty, rain-soaked streets. Townspeople turn against one another, Penny and Beau suspect each other of hiding secrets, and death comes swiftly for those who cannot resist the call of the sisters. But only Penny sees what the others cannot, and she will be forced to choose. Save Beau or save herself? Sounds very interesting. They almost sound a bit succubus-y, not succubus-y, siren-y, which I like siren witches from a lake. Love that. I probably anticipate this one being around what the others have been, high 3, low 4. Again, I haven't heard much, but I have heard good. Once again, my brain is saying very specifically either 3.9 or 3.73. But now, after what happened with the bone houses, I'm like, do I go for 3.9 in the event that it's over a 4? Because I don't think it'd be above a 4.1. Or do I go with 3.7? I'm gonna go with 3.9. I think 3.9 is the right answer. So we're going to see what that would be. Not what that would be, if I'm correct, which I'm probably not at this rate. 3.86. I knew it. I was right. That being said, though, I could have gone for 3.8 in the middle again and I would have gotten it. But I'm relieved to see that I'm correct. Like I said, the Wicked Deep and the Bone Houses just give me kind of the same vibes where they're in their very own specific niche of readers who want that dark, gothic, horror-y fantasy. And so it's a small niche, but it's a well-loved niche. And if people in that niche love it, it's a good book, but you might not hear about it a lot. So all of that has made sense so far. And I'm happy to see that I'm at least decently good at judging if a book is good or not based off of the back. Because, I mean, I would assume you watch me regularly at this point. However, that being said, according to my analytics, most of you just come for one video and then leave, which stay around, please and thank you. Subscribe. I make fun videos, but I don't read the backs of books. And so it's nice seeing that even though I don't read the backs of books, I do still know how to judge a book based off of the back of it. So yeah, but we are on to our final book, ladies and gents. Ladies and gents, I have 100% female audience. There are no gents here. But yeah, okay, so we have 2 wrong. This is the final book out of the six. So this is gonna make or break it, because if I get this one wrong, I will only have had a 50% success rate. I still consider myself good because every time I'm close. However, yeah, that's gonna be a bit embarrassing. The next book I'm also terrified of. It is The 13th Child by Erin Craig. In one of my reading vlogs that I will link down below, I did read House of Salt and Sorrows and I really didn't enjoy it. I ended up skimming like 100 pages at one point just to get through it. I really did not like it. I felt very flat and it was very disappointing because there was a lot of it that I should have liked and I think it was poorly executed. And so I'm nervous for this one because I have read the back of this one and my boyfriend actually picked this book for me and it sounds very interesting and I really want to like it. However, the YouTuber who I regularly get book recommendations from was not the biggest fan of this one. And then in addition to it, I'm scared of this author. And in addition to all of that, I don't want to be let down by her again because it's gonna hurt. And I mean, this book is so beautiful. If this book is a letdown, I might stop reading forever. My God, this is a long description. Drawing on the Grimm brothers' dark fairy tale, Godfather Death, this new novel by the #1 New York Times bestselling author of House of Salt and Sorrows is a sweeping, fantastical saga of actions and consequences. This is the story of Hazel, a young healer navigating a ruthless court to save the life of the king, grappling with a pantheon of gods with questionable agendas as she fights for agency and true love in her own life as the goddaughter of none other than Death himself. All gifts come with a price. Hazel Trepass has always known she wasn't like the rest of her siblings. A 13th child promised away to one of the gods, she spends her childhood waiting for her godfather, Merrick the Dreaded End, to arrive. When he does, he lays out exactly how he's planned Hazel's future. She will become a great healer known throughout the kingdom for her precision and skill. To aid her endeavors, Merrick blesses Hazel with a gift, the ability to instantly deduce the exact cure needed to treat the sick. But all gifts come with a price. Hazel can see when death has claimed a patient, when all hope is gone, and is tossed to end their suffering permanently. Haunted by the ghosts of those she's killed, Hazel longs to run, but destiny brings her to the royal court, where she meets Leo, a rakish prince with a disdain for everything and everyone. And it's where Hazel faces her biggest dilemma yet: to save the life of a king marked to die. Hazel knows what she is meant to do and knows what her heart is urging her toward, but what will happen if she goes against the will of death? From the astonishing mind of Erin A. Craig comes a breathtaking fairy tale retelling readers have been waiting for. What does a life well lived mean, and how do we justify the impossible choices we make for the ones we love? The 13th Child is a must-read for fans of dark fairy tales, romantasy, and epic fantasy alike. I haven't really heard much about this aside from the one YouTuber that wasn't the biggest fan. However, this does sound like it has the making of a novel that people truly love. And then in addition to that, I do really believe that Erin A. Craig is very, very popular. A lot of people loved A House of Salt and Sorrows. I'm definitely in the minority of not having enjoyed it. And so I do think that regardless of what my opinion is going to be of this novel, I do think that it's going to be well loved, and therefore I definitely do think I want to pick high 3s again, or maybe even, I wouldn't be shocked if this was a 4.1, to be honest with you. And so yeah, I think I'm going to pick 4.1 because I just have a feeling that regardless of my worries and anxieties about this book, I do think a lot of people liked it. I just think the people that don't like it probably just like it very strongly. Plus it's a retelling, which is always popular. I just don't know the original tale of it. Shut up, no way. I got that one on the dot. 4.1, that's insane. Okay. Oh, and it's a horror? It's a gothic YA fantasy romance horror novel. Of course it's a 4.1. Okay, amazing. So let's see if I can pick all of these up because I'm a little weakling. This is my entire young adult fantasy TBR. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4 correct. I got 2 incorrect and 1 I didn't read because it's a sequel. That means this month I have to read at least 2 books, which I think I can accomplish. I will check back in at the end of the month and let you know how many in total I read. But that was really fun, and I'm definitely going to do this in the future again with other books for my TBR, and then once I run out of books on my TBR, I'm going to just do other books that I find online. So yeah, but that was really fun, really interesting. I hope you enjoyed. I mean, look at the... Can we just appreciate the young adult design? Because this is a beautiful stack if I've ever seen one. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will check back in with you, for you a millisecond, for me a few weeks, and I'll let you know if I've completed my goal of reading at least 2 books or if I'm going to humiliate myself on the internet for everyone's enjoyment. Hi, so it's about a week later. I know I said I check in at the end of the month and it's not close to the end of the month yet. However, my goal was to read 2 books this month, and at this point I'm sitting at 4. When filming the earlier part, I had already finished 1 book, and so now I've read 3 more. I've completed 4, so technically I did achieve my goal. So I thought, why wait to the end of the month when I can just tell you guys now that I completed it? So yay for me. Hopefully the next time we do this, I'll get more wrong. I'll definitely have a smaller bracket, and we can make sure that I embarrass myself on the internet next time. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know. I had a lot of fun making it. If you like me or my videos, I would really appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye.